Thank you, Madison, for your subtle genius. And thank you for all of you for coming to this bookstore to see me read. Oh my God. So, I guess I'll just jump into it. I'm going to start with kind of the newest poem that I have with me today, and it's called Black and Relaxed 2, because there is a Black and Relaxed 1. That's all I'm going to say about it, though. Don't be afraid of not being happy. It's not all that bad to weep or just to be fine. Grinding your teeth, you speak out from me. In this big, empty room, you singing to me like some kind of damsel on high, breaking world records. Olympic sweet one, wouldn't you like to come home to something new every once in a while? In this big, empty room, you sang out from me like some kind of mistake. I can never tell an error from a real one. I can never tell a bad bitch from a bad bitch. There was just something about you. You'd exhausted the need to perform. There you are, there you are. I saw my hand working to meet you. It crossed over plains and page. It met with disaster at every turn. I was afraid of feeling bad and felt badly about it. I tried to get myself back. I'm not sure when it started, Lord, but it only continued. There were people in every room making love. A field opened up in the living room. It was there I understood your image. Is it possible I was there beside you? Return. All you had to do was say so. Is it possible you're allergic to happiness and afraid of being sad? Is it possible your image evades you? You'd come up with a process for being high all the time so you'd never have to not be high. Your stupidity is more interesting to others and to you, and you can feel that. I have everything I used to have, and more I see it, more I know. A deep voice is the greatest gift in the world. Put some wind behind it, make it rain. How long have you been standing there? Isn't it funny for depressives to resent so much and yet still dance so hard? There was so much straw in my teeth from looking at you. I had crushed your face bitterly in my palm and was looking for reasons to cruise on by. I just want to say, I'm very down with like folks making noises. I feel rejected every day, but that's no reason to make anyone wait in line to see you. The only way to get past what ails you is to show up again and again until it loves you or disappears. Kill, kill, kill what ails you in your own damn mind, soldier. Born ready, war ready, born ready, war ready. I'd had a sense of urgency about it. I was a channel for something which had seized my mind, and I let it happen and knew it had gone on. We actually don't control that. We actually don't even usually let people who look like you in here. How you succeed when biddies out here looking for cracks. I'm that biddy too, hope you fail and never see what took you. This here's an approximate language. Your perspective is invaluable. You were afraid of being angry. The streets won't give it up. Prima donna wanna be me. You could be someone I say no to every once in a while. You never had a very strategic bent which made me want to beat you. Beware of what anger be due to you. Beware how it travel, how it don't forgive, how it bang, bang, bang against you even when you sleepin'. Long time in the morning I stay seated wondering if you shouldn't be doing what you doing. I see you, and I've been in you before. I wouldn't be here if I didn't need encouragement. Is it real? Is it real? Is it real? I just want to show you better, but I'd gone far, far away by the time you were real. Is this the same drama you've always endured? Someone's got a bone to pick, it's me. You just gotta give it up, baby. Remember not to be so critical, that mean. Don't always be looking at the negative, see the light, be that shit. Release any negative emotions in the downward direction. Don't try to push that shit up. Let it drop, then come up clean. Some of these blocks you can't even feel. Be light about your feet. Take note of when you might be staring at the ground. Something heavy come, let it drop to the ground, then come up clean. You can feel when it come, you get real far away. Something heavy come, you freeze up, hold that shit in your arms, no. Let that shit drop, come up clean. When you are too afraid to feel what you're feeling, you distort it. You ain't know what you feeling. Let that shit drop to the ground, come up clean. Your need to control is based in fear. Look at your fear. More you look, more it open. More it open, more you feel. More you feel, more you real. More you real, more you God. More you God, more be. Can't say it enough times, look at your fear. Look at your fear. And if your legacy is fear, even more hard you look. You could read it, hear it, think you hear it, and you ain't hear it, 'cause that's how scared you are. So I'm gonna say it again. Look at your fear. How you feel when you're not in control. Sad, soft baby, sad, soft, loving. How you feel when you sad, soft. I write from a sense of urgency. I hate because it's strategic. I didn't like what I saw when I looked. You're afraid of being sad because you think it'll last forever, and so that's how it goes, forever. Release your fear. Let that shit drop to the ground, come up clean. Fear can be strategic too, can't let the drop act. Some of these blocks you can't even feel. Did you get uncomfortable? Do you not like fear and anger in others or in you? You're afraid of your life not being good, so you shut down when you don't enjoy because it feels like you dying. Is this the end of trap music as we know it? Is it no longer enough? Where's someone like Yachty when you need him for the post-trap? Is Drake no longer enough? Is it not enough to do the same thing no more? You're afraid of being the failure at the center of your life. It wasn't easy to talk to you when you lost your cool. There's no way this can go wrong, but you imagine it will because you'd reached a kind of limit. Maybe this is all I'm ready for now. How would you like to be a commodity, hot and real? Some of these blocks you can't even feel. It's true that you're miserable, but not for the reasons you think. Some of these blocks you can't even feel. If a tree shakes in the forest, how many biddies be there? How many times you need this scenario played out? You make yourself miserable trying to pretend not to be miserable. Learn that you will go up and down, and if you're in pain, it's real. I hated everything that lived. I thought my thoughts were fake. You hurt me. Now I take you on. Now I cry at your feet for what I lost. Everything be linked. I remember being happy with you in summer, but I can't help but see myself from the future. And even when it felt good, it was hard to write it, hard to trust it was real. Didn't want the road to fall down before me with no way forward, and I hurt me just to know you are real. I came through the doorway and knew you were real. I couldn't trust the normal movements of the heart and had to pretend it wasn't real. Had to know I couldn't be had. If you can feel happy, please do it. It's important to lose track of time. I do fucks with this song. If you can feel happy, please do it. Sometimes the answer is no, but is it no right now? Can't go around changing what you want. Sometimes what you want is sadness, can't go around changing that. Sometimes you're hella scared, can't go around changing that. But you don't have to be scared of being scared. Be brave about being scared and sad, sad, soft, soft brain, soft bird. You can't control the happy years. Be brave about being scared. Be afraid, be very afraid. Fear makes a lot of sense. Don't be scared of being someone who's scared. Spend time feeling your fear. More you comfortable with that, more you don't need that. Practice feeling your fear. The opposite advice you gave yourself some time ago for good reason. And if you feel happy, please feel it good. You don't need to be sad about it, it's good. Practice feeling being alive. Identify happiness with feeling being, no matter where that feeling be. Don't be mad about being scared, that's even scarier. You so mad and scared about being scared, you have the first-hand experience of fear, and then there's everything else. Rest in that. These noises. This poem is called "And Then She Said, I Need to Tell You Something and Don't Hate Me For It." I didn't make that up, that's the title of a song by a musician named Duplan, who I love. Last night there was love pandering outside my heart's door like jungle music. Who can say what time the cops came? I guess I just mean it confused me the way you came hunting, and I knew exactly which Lord would take me. I thought about being a child, nothing better, nothing worse. I thought I could mind control the situation, but there was a shark in the water last night, and love had fallen out of my body, had been forcibly ejected. I had tried to speak something about my mother. It was like being something that doesn't have any limbs. Over and over I had to ask myself about the words I was using and if those words were, in fact, killing people. I'm going to read a little bit from Take the Stallion, which is called, lovingly by my friends, Take Some Scallions. I think it's a better title, honestly. This poem's called, I once saw this piece of graffiti and it said, someone had like spray painted, try or don't, which I think is like honestly the best advice I've ever heard. So this poem is called On How to Win With or Without Trying. Can a Negro get some chaos in here? David said. Looking for love, we stand by the church and mimic its stance. We explain to our friends that nothing is to be taken for granted, not even the fingernail clippings. We adjust our sex, our shapes, invent new sounds for pleasure. I say, my best deeds are slander, libel, and late-night apology. He says, I'm not here for that. We don newer shapes. We study the voices of people diverging with scholarly disinterest. In evenings, I return to the church and lie at its base, keeping in mind that the fingernails continue to grow. Clip them now, a wise man once said. I use an envelope to store the excess and keep this in my pocket. When I confess for the last time, I recite the pleasure sounds. I don't know if you, how many people here are writers of any kind? I feel like that's everybody. We're in a bookstore right now, y'all. Okay. Anyway, I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you write something, you sort of forget about it, perhaps even years go by, and then after some time it like hits you, like you finally you're like, oh, that's what that poem is about. So that happened to me the other night with this poem, which I wrote a super long time ago. But hopefully a similar, I don't know, something happens for you. Maybe not tonight, maybe it'll be 3 years from now. Call me. Okay. Portrait of the Found Self. I hear only a bird remote and laughing from beneath its hunter's hands. The trill is joyful. I become at night the hunter whose hands delight in the roundness of her animal. I move to the window. My gaze is soft. I see my shadow from outside, my shadow laughing from beneath my hands. A fledgling is a young bird that has its feathers and is learning to fly. 1. Shedevl. I, on the other hand, make sure to wash my mouth whenever I say something slippery. I am washing right now, ma chérie, with a pen in my left hand and my page on the rim of the sink, and my right hand is reaching toward you, you in the mirror, to pull your hair out. 2. The terror of having to realize the unrealizable. I am a baby on the kitchen counter, one of many. My mother continues to unload us from a crate. The counter is littered with knives. No one is hurt except all of us are hurt and yearning to sleep. It is cold. Keep this in mind, it is cold. My mother, the woman, she is wearing a chain of children's molars. A man wearing the same chain appears in the doorway and begins to eat us one by one. 3. My mother in a blue apron, it is springtime, inside and outside the kitchen. I hear the dog screech from the yard. His body is caught under the lawnmower. My father is driving. I tell my mother to get off the machine, to let this one live, but he doesn't listen. He takes off his apron and steps outside, sees the dog screeching, and by now it is still springtime. 4. You are in control. The day is yellow in the sense that the grasses are dying. There are animals dying every minute, waiting, even after their deaths, to be adopted. Pick up the phone. Pick up the baby and set it in a meadow. Wait for a bird to settle on its head and take a photo. Mail the photo to your mother. Write to her. Write, just this once, would you please come to my recital? I promise I will do better than Jenny. Take the baby back into your hands and promise me. 5. What makes us go all the way to the bottom? The brother had severed one of his fingers attempting to slice a fig. The mother took him to the emergency room, but only the brother returned. Since then, I have had to be the woman of the house. I am proud to say that the brother's fingers have grown 6 inches since I took over, and the father is very well near portly. I promise to fill them up. I say this every time I pass the emergency room on the way to bed. 6. At least we have our authenticity. This is the last time I'll ever lend my skin to a man who tells me he'll give it right back. Keep this in mind, it is cold, and my eyes are too bloated for my head. I have had to squeeze them dry at day's end. I do this in the bathroom, where a lady is safe to take her apron off and her eyes out. 7. I say to Michael, Michael, why don't you go out and find yourself a woman? I say, Michael, any lady would be lucky to let you have her. I say, take this cake and take it into your arms and find a woman. 8. You are in control. Take this stallion and ride it to your demise. Read the sunset behind the stars, the green, green garden. Compare my flesh to yours. Look at my hair, my neck hair and my toe hair. Read, I am a woman and a woman is a woman. My unconscious is under siege, Papa Bear. Take up your arms and throw them around me. Bring a bouquet, bring your big cowboy hat. Show me how to kill a horse. Does anyone else have an iPhone 10 that scans your face every time you open it? I do. It's scary. The body is alive and awake, the spirit a decision problem. It's a poem around Muhammad Ali. I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong. No Viet Cong ever called me nigger. No, I am not going 10,000 miles to murder, kill, burn people, to slave over the dark people. The whole world over must come to an impasse. Why should they ask us to put on a uniform, to get 10,000 miles from home, to go blitz brown while the so-called Negro people of Louisville are dogs denied? You are a dog, you want freedom. You are a dog, you want to go somewhere and fight. I can't stand up, I found myself dizzier and dizzier every time he hit us. When we were young, we moved our arms and legs at the same time. It's very hard to hit a moving target. He moved all the time. 3 minutes every round for 15 rounds. He said he would whip Sonny Liston like his daddy did. I'm going to read this poem specifically for this human over here. Raise your hand if you love her. Yes. Okay. Read my favorite poem. An Ode to the Black Brigade of Cincinnati, 1862. When Joseph Johns, just a tiny little backup information. Joseph Johns was the only person in the Black Brigade of Cincinnati who died while serving in the Civil War. Okay. When Joseph Johns flies to a site where thousands of honeybees may be waiting, he mates with several males in flight. A male honeybee mounts Joseph and inserts his endophallus, ejaculating. After ejaculation, the male honeybee pulls away from Joseph, though his endophallus is ripped from his body. Why didn't you pick up the phone? The next male honeybee to mate with Joseph removes the previous endophallus and eventually loses his own after ejaculation. Male honeybees are only able to mate 7 to 10 times during a mating flight. I never meant to hurt you. After mating, the honeybee dies quickly as his abdomen explodes when the phallus is lost. Even honeybees that survive the mating flight are ejected from their nests as they have served their only purpose by mating. Joseph Johns mates early in his life and only attends one mating flight. After several matings, Joseph stores 100 million sperm in his oviducts. It's just that I don't know how to love. If Joseph runs out of sperm in his lifetime, new generations of Josephs will mate and produce their own colonies. Joseph Johns controls the sex of his offspring. As eggs pass through the ovary to the oviduct, Joseph knows whether an egg is fertilized or not. Teach me, Joseph, how to love. Unfertilized eggs become honeybees, while fertilized eggs become honeybees and honeybees. Joseph Johns lays his eggs in oval-shaped cells which stick to the nest ceiling. I promise to be true to you. Drones fill these cells with royal jelly to stop the larva from falling. Soon-to-be drones eat royal jelly for the first 2 days, while soon-to-be Josephs eat jelly for all the days to come. I promise to be true to you. Joseph, who spends his time laying eggs inside the hive, could live for several eons. Okay. I'm going to read from Carmel now. How am I doing on time? Yeah. Okay. There aren't title breaks in this book, so I'm just going to start and then I'll keep going. A childhood proceeds from a series of images. An apartment where the children don't speak English, my body included. I step in dog shit. I fall in love with a blonde boy whose mother walks him to the bus stop where my mother also drops me. I fall hard and don't stop falling. I tell Benjamin I love him, but he is married and employed and doesn't need the money and is my therapist. True story. This is a silly way to say, I love you, I cannot lie to you, I would like to. I wanted you to cry with me. Whenever I cry, you cry. Once you cried and I wanted you to stop. I wanted you to cry into me. You waste everyone's time with your back and forth. You go to the shopping mall of your delights and horrors, purchasing yourself in droves. You run out of money and are filthy though you bathe. You bathe for this reason countless times. It has nothing to do with the font that you're using. Some say work for honesty, others say craft. Still others are monarchs or blue whales. Others have stars on their shoulders. Others invite each other to dances where they, as per each other's expectation, dance with each other. You collect everything, all the dead waste of his life, and create a wreath. Are you tired? Yes, every day. You can write and still you are indefatigable. Deep well of a woman, step on my throat and tell me right, straight, and true. My father, the woman, dances in a crowd. Is this fruitless? Yes, every day. Continue on no matter what, because you are that body. That is a mistake. You are that, and that is a body. So that you and the body are in a room together. And so a kind of ecstatic union may emerge. We talked about that today. Dr. Adelson and me. Doctor, father, daddy, come to meet your maker. She put her head in the oven. She put her head in the oven. How long can you go on screaming like that? I had idealized not having money while I've had money and while I haven't. I won't buy food again until September 1st when the check comes through, and then I'll buy a little at the co-op. I'll tell the man my number. He'll call me back to tell me he's in a relationship, but boy, does he dig my tenacity. True story. That was in high school. Justin worked at PetSmart, which I include here in the diminutive to reflect my confusion about its proper capitalization, and which I don't want to get into anymore here. Talk about it after. I didn't have friends in high school. At the school dances, black and white girls shook on the floor. A crowd of trees formed around them. There was a countdown to the day when everyone was supposed to get shot. The administration said it was all right not to go to school that day, so everyone hung out with friends. I talked to Sam about it. He thought we'd overreacted, that we should have been there with the lockers and the classrooms and the desks in the thick of it, with the guns and the youth, even if they were just ideas, not a present body, not today, just in the tick of things. It wasn't my day. I'm speaking to you plainly now, not from beyond the grave. Some of these attempts at life will work better than others. Why won't you be frank with me? Am I safe? Give it to me, a straightaway answer, a down in the dust answer, a give me any kind of answer you've got answer. My dog, how did I get into this room? Who are all these folks standing up in this room? If I'm to stay in this room, I'd better get some refreshments. I want chocolate, goddammit, please. Hold out a little longer, don't force it. I'm always too moody for the party. I talked to Ryan about this, and we can talk about this endlessly. That is because Ryan is a good man with a good sense of the sentence. I told Ryan at the barbecue, and so on, and that's how it is, I said, you've always got to keep on going until you're dead. And when you die, some folks will give a hoot, and some others will give great hoots. Still others will fall somewhere in the middle. You will possess no great works. Where does something fall when it falls in the middle? It falls all around us at night in strides. I had a feeling in the fingers the other day. They weren't my fingers. I told Dr. Adelson about it. I told him for the second or even the third time. I felt so dejected, I fell into a hole. At the bottom of the hole, my mother was there. She was peeling carrots. She was married to Rebecca, who had given her many great children. Just context for this next one. Chester's my dog's name. He's really cool. Okay. That's it. Don't fix a thing, darling. You're already shining like window cleaner. No one's watching. You're never gonna read this bitch ever again. What? Ha, 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 ha. Chester wags his tail every time I laugh. All I needed was some time alone. You want a poem? Here, I've got one. It's an Ars Poetica. It's literally the only Ars Poetica I've ever written. A poem should be righteous, good, and true. Like my body, this is thinly veiled disguise. Everything you say about me is bullshit. Blah, 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 the story is you are black. Blah, 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 you have white hair, which I did at the time of writing this. Imagine. Like Brian, who improperly describes sex to you. The story goes, 3 men in the desert refer themselves to Christ. Chester has a ball in his mouth. All figures, like this one, refer themselves to Christ. I am announcing that I am going into my depths. What is this thing called poetry? Does it see me? Do I talk to it? What are its standards for personhood? Why is white male Christianhood considered the most reasonable of bodies? What are your cultural practices? Do they constitute sexual harassment? Are you an American? Are you a poet? Will David Lehman anthologize you? Will you live forever? My goal in life is to read that poem to David Lehman. It will happen.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm just gonna read, I think, 2 more and then I'll be done. Hunger is the bane of my existence. You are my best friend, somewhat. I'm not sure I'd like to finish what I've started. I'm not concerned at all with the poem now. You have to understand there is nothing wrong with this. Please. I ate half a papaya. I can't stop thinking about bluets and how if this becomes a chapbook, will people compare this to that? This is nothing like that. I haven't even thought about formatting yet. No one will read this book and almost everyone will prefer bluets. What do you want? A fucking postcard? Damn. That internal voice is so harsh. Damn. Don't talk to yourself like that. Also, I completely lied just now. I'm gonna read a couple more. Poets of Facebook, they follow you. You don't know them, they don't know you. It would be a mistake to publish this. You love mistakes. Give us some more. Oh, I love this one. Do artists work all day? Poll. Okay, so do artists work all day? Yes, team. Team of like, yes, artists work all day. Okay. No team. Okay. Like undecided. That's a lot of you, because... Okay. Do artists work all day? Yes. The answer is yes. Without a doubt, my friend. That's what happens when you take me out to dinner before the reading. Stop. The artist fixates on his craft. She has no craft. She is in the kitchen making biscuits for daddy.
Oh.
Yeah. Why you have to take it there? Okay, this last one. Hopefully you are not terrible enough to publish a book boasting of your parents' faults. You are young. You are 24 on the day of writing this. You are wearing a blue shirt, blue skirt, white underwear, no shoes. If you regret this in 25 years, let me know. Keep this page as a record.